Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you saw last week's video, we bought this 1963 Mobile Scout from just down the street from my in-laws house, and so that's why we're at a different location today than my backyard, and we're going to take this thing apart. This is easily the worst camper that I've ever worked on as far as condition goes. I really wish it was in better condition and the interior was complete, but because it is not, this is going to make a great photo booth camper. I just did a video a few weeks ago showing taking apart our 1961 Aljo. So this is going to be kind of a reiteration of that. But again, the basics of taking one of these apart so that you can take all your measurements is to take everything, like all the windows and, you know, the eyebrows and the J-rail, all these sort of exterior elements, take all of that off and then start working the skin off and look at what's actually under there and start measuring it. And that's the proper way to work on these. That's how you want to do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my drill and I'm going to start pulling some screws and see what I can get taken off of this thing today. I think this is where I'm going to start. I think I'm going to pull this off first because really there's no structure actually supporting this now, so it's just a weight on the rest of the camper. So I think with that off, you know, it may be actually a little more stable than it is with it on. You know, it's a bit amazing to me, but someone clearly wired this up thinking they were going to tow it like this. So, that's interesting. So someone's gone and put sealant all around the top vent, so that's going to make taking it out a little more of a pain in the butt, and I kind of wanted to do that before I removed any of the other structure of the camper, because it's going to get a lot weaker on the top. I might just yank it out all in one piece, maybe.
Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die.
Okay, so now that I'm not going to need to crawl around on the roof anymore to do anything, I'll go ahead and take the rest of all this stuff out. Windows, trim, all that stuff's going to come out. Oh, looks like I got to do some of this from the inside. Can you see this cool little tab here? This travel trailer is wired for 110, 125 volt AC service. Do not connect to higher voltage. I might reuse that. So that piece of J-rail I just pulled off, there was no butyl tape or anything on the back side of most of it. Looks like a little bit down there, but I really think you would want to seal behind there, and I will be doing that. Now there's just a bunch of little nails along this edge that you got to go through and pull out, and I use these little angle cutters, or I don't know, I always forget what they're called, but they do a good job of, you can kind of get them in there and get under that nail head and pry it up with that. Works a lot better than a hammer. Okay, I see. I said I didn't find any butyl or any kind of sealant underneath the J-rail. They put it on the side skin and then wrapped the top over it and tacked through it, which I guess is okay. I guess I'll have to think about that and decide whether there's any advantage to doing that. Anyway, I got more nails. There we go. You know, at this rate, there's not going to be anything left to take measurements from. It's definitely a lot chillier today than it was yesterday, but it didn't wind up raining or snowing, so here I am working again. So anyway, we're going to try to get all the stuff off of this side and try to get some of these skins removed so we can start on our measurements today. Nice! I'm a little surprised. There's still a few pieces of sort of semi-solid wood in the middle. I figured it'd all be rotted away. It just is mostly rotted away. So if your intention is actually to retain your roof, to put it back, you would probably want to roll that up and not just yank it off to the side and let it fall on the ground and bend itself all to pieces. Since that piece is definitely getting replaced, yeah, no harm, no foul. All right, let's get those sides off. Hey, it's starting to rain out here. Okay, so it stopped raining, so I'm going to try to take some quick measurements. I'm sort of debating whether I should just try to keep this wall intact and lay it down and build on top of it like we did with our Playmore, or if I should just do all the measurements and then build from that. Getting the outside, getting those cut would be pretty easy to just essentially trace them with a router. I don't know, I'm still just trying to make decisions there, and I'm not sure 100% what I'm doing yet. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with making the measurements, because then I can relatively easily make that SketchUp from it, and that's always handy to have. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, man. So I asked Larry at Mobile Tech about these screws and whether they had any kind of sealant applied to them before being driven in through the middle of the skin, and he said no, they didn't. They're there to keep this panel from buckling outward or pooching outward when it sits in the sun and heats up and expands. And so they do that job, but they do also make a hole in your skin that potentially can let water in, or I should say the wall framing behind these that these are screwed into really don't show much in the way of water penetration. Seems like they went a little excessive on putting these in here though, so maybe we won't put quite as many in as we take out, but okay, so this side is actually in pretty bad shape. There's considerable termite or carpenter ant damage. Also, there's some of these framing boards that they use for the walls had great big knot holes in it. If you're rebuilding one of these and you're replacing some of that wood, if you have any big knot holes in one of those pieces, just cut it out, use it for a smaller piece or something, because that is right where that framing stud will fail and cause that panel to buckle. And that's exactly what happened on here. Now, granted, that didn't happen until after a bunch of water damage and insect damage had occurred, but still, it's just, you know, don't leave knot holes in your wood. So usually when I start to sketch the other side of the camper, I just take my original drawing and I turn it the other way around, hold it up to a window, and then sketch it onto another piece of paper. Let me show you how. There you have it. Okay, so I think I've got enough measurements made that I'm good to go there. So the first thing I need to do now that I have these measurements is I need to make some notes about what ceiling joists there are, and then I can pull the upper front cabinet and the electrical box out and start taking those studs out and then probably knock these walls down. Well, I think that's good enough for today. I'm just kidding. I still got more work to do. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week. Next time we'll finish this off and go pick up our Aljo trailer frame from the welder and see what else we can get into. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me do this again. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.